The Office of Early Childhood is the state agency responsible for licensing family child care homes. This presentation will help you to decide if becoming a licensed family child care provider is for you and will guide you through the process required to become a licensed provider. There are two sections to this presentation. Section 1 will help you decide if becoming a licensed family child care provider is for you and guide you through the application process. Section 2 will help you prepare your home for the initial inspection. We hope this presentation helps you understand the process of becoming a licensed family child care provider. The Office of Early Childhood is the licensing agency for family child care homes in Connecticut. Section 1 will help you to decide whether or not becoming a licensed family child care provider is for you and will review the steps necessary in completing an application. Before you get started, here are a few things you'll want to check. Are you at least 20 years of age? Do you enjoy caring for children? Do you understand the developmental needs of children? Do you use good judgment when it comes to the supervision and safety of children? Are you and your family willing to open your home and hearts to other children? If you answered yes to these questions, then becoming a licensed family child care provider may be for you. How exciting! Let's get started with the application process. To begin, you will need to obtain an application packet which includes a copy of the Connecticut statutes and regulations for licensing family child care homes. To obtain these materials, you can visit our website at the address shown here or call the licensing division using either of these two numbers. An application is complete when the following items have been submitted to the Office of Early Childhood. A $40 non-refundable application fee. Adult medical statements and tuberculosis tests for all adult household members 18 years of age or older. Connecticut health assessment records for household children under 18 years of age. Proof of current first aid certification from an agency-approved course. A completed foster care or adoption verification form, if applicable. A well water test, if applicable. 3 completed reference forms. And criminal background checks and DCF clearance release forms for all household members 16 years of age or older. Please answer all application questions completely and truthfully. False statements can lead to denial of your application. Adult medical forms must be submitted for all adult household members 18 years of age or older. The form must be completed and signed by the medical provider, and the exam and tuberculosis test date must have been within the past 12 months. Remember to keep a copy for your files. Altered forms may result in the denial of your application. Child health assessment records are required for all household children under the age of 18. All infant, toddler, and preschool children must have a physical completed within the last 12 months prior to the date of your application. School-age children must have a complete physical exam as required by their public school system. Remember, the healthcare provider signature date is not necessarily the exam date. There will be 3 reference forms included in your application. You must have them completed by individuals that have known you for at least 3 years, and only one of which may be a relative. Prior to registering for your first aid course, it is very important that you check our list of approved first aid courses to ensure you are taking the correct course. The certificate of completion must reflect the exact course name listed on the current agency-approved list, or it will not be accepted. Submit a copy of your certificate and keep the original for your records. If your home is served by a well, you must include written proof from a state-certified laboratory that the water was tested within the last year and is safe for drinking. If your home has an auxiliary heating device, such as a wood stove, pellet stove, or gas fireplace, you must include written proof from an authorized licensed professional that it has been inspected and approved for proper use and safe installation. No kerosene heaters or unsafe space heaters may be used during child care hours. If you have applied, held, or currently hold a foster care or adoption license, you are required to have the licensing agency complete the verification form and have the agency submit the completed form to the Office of Early Childhood. Once licensed as a family child care provider, you may wish to utilize agency-approved staff. For example, an additional staff member is required any time more than 2 children under the age of 2 are present. An assistant is an adult 18 years of age or older who meets all of the qualifications of a licensed child care provider, except they are not required to complete an agency-approved first aid course. An assistant, however, can only assist with child care when the provider is also present. An agency-approved substitute is an adult 20 years of age or older who meets all of the qualifications of a licensed child care provider who may assume the provider's responsibility in their absence. Remember that you are the primary caregiver, and your substitute should never be used on a regularly recurring basis in your absence, which would effectively transfer your license to them. All assistants and substitutes must submit an application which includes background checks and a non-refundable $15 fee. All staff must be approved by the agency prior to working at the family child care home. You may obtain the application online and must call the agency to request fingerprint cards. Once approved, staff are required to renew every 2 years. Sometimes, providers wish to designate one of their own household members, such as their spouse, as a staff member. If you choose to do so, it is highly recommended that you have this person submit their staff application at the same time as yours to avoid the necessity to be re-fingerprinted after your license is approved. All licensed providers are also required to identify an emergency caregiver who is 20 years of age or older, can arrive within 10 minutes, and is available during your customary business hours. This person should only be used to provide child care only for unscheduled, unforeseen emergencies. This individual is not approved by the agency and should only be used for the purpose of contacting parents with pickup arrangements for the children present. Background checks for all household members 16 years of age and older must be submitted with your application, including a required fee for each fingerprint card. Included in the fingerprint packet will be 1 green fingerprint card used for state police and FBI, and a DCF authorization for release of information form. All background checks must clear in order for your application to be considered complete. Please be sure to follow all instructions included with the cards to help you avoid rejection. If your fingerprint cards are returned to you, resubmit a new card as soon as possible so your application is not delayed. Great job! Now you are ready to submit your application to the Office of Early Childhood. So what's next? Once your application is received, it will be reviewed by the application unit. You will receive a letter notifying you of any missing information. The sooner you submit this information, the quicker we can continue to process your application. Upon completion of your application, it will be reviewed by a supervisor and, if approved, assigned to a licensing specialist who will contact you to schedule the initial inspection of your home. The entire licensing process must be completed within 12 months of the date you submitted your application. This includes the inspection of your home and any corrections you may need to make. Within this time, it is your responsibility to monitor the status of your application. We hope that this section was helpful. Please remember that this presentation has not covered all of the regulations, so be sure to read them entirely. As a licensed provider, it will be your responsibility to understand and comply with all of the regulations. If you have any questions, please call our help desk or refer to the statutes and regulations. Section 2 will help you to understand what to expect during the initial inspection of your home as you prepare to become a licensed provider. Congratulations! At this point, your family child care application is nearly complete. The next step will be to schedule an initial inspection of your home with one of our professional child care licensing specialists. When this inspection is scheduled, your child care licensing specialist will share information to help you prepare. We hope that this section of the presentation will help you to understand exactly what will happen during your initial inspection. Before your initial inspection, it's important to familiarize yourself with family child care statutes and regulations. An initial inspection is your opportunity for a specialist to spend time with you to make sure you understand the regulations and that your home is in compliance. As you prepare for your inspection, jot down any questions you may have to discuss with your specialist or call our help desk. It's important to know that during every inspection, the licensing specialist will need to inspect your entire home, indoors and outdoors. We will need to look in all rooms, closets, and outbuildings, including those not used for childcare, to ensure your entire home is safe for children. If your home was built before 1978 and peeling or chipping paint is observed, we will take a sample during our inspection. The sample will be sent to the state laboratory for testing to identify if lead is present in your home. If we observe a pool or other body of water on or near your property, you will be required to install a sturdy fence or barrier that is at least 4 feet high with locked entrances which totally bars access to the water. If we determine your home is in a high traffic area or has any other hazards, you will need to protect the outdoor play area by barriers to make it safe for children. When choosing which areas in your home to use for childcare, remember that each room you use must have 2 remotely located and unobstructed exits. If your home has any stairways inside or outside that will be used for children, they must have sturdy handrails and be free from obstructions. Sturdy child-safe gates must be installed at the top and bottom of all stairs to prevent falls. Prior to your initial inspection, it is important to take some time to get your home in compliance with the regulations. The next few slides will review some of the things we will be looking for during the inspection. You must have a working smoke detector on each level of your home, including the basement and any walk-up attics. Remember, basement smoke detectors must be located in the basement and not at the top of your stairwell. Test your smoke detectors regularly. During every inspection, we will also test them. You'll need to have a 5-pound ABC fire extinguisher mounted in an area that is easily accessible and is no higher than 5 feet from the floor. You'll also want to periodically check the gauge to make sure it is properly charged. In order to keep everyone in your home safe during an emergency, you must have a written emergency evacuation plan and practice at least quarterly emergency drills. Be sure to share this plan with any staff you may have. All electrical outlets that are accessible to children, including in rooms you may use for napping, must be covered or protected, and all of your electrical cords and appliances should be in good repair. If you have weapons in your home, make sure they are stored unloaded and are locked or stored in a locked area separate from the ammunition. Your water temperature should not exceed 120 degrees. Children under 6 years of age are the most frequent victims of non-fatal burns. Water temperature used for hand washing must be safe and comfortable for children. If you have pets in your home, it is your responsibility to protect the health and safety of all children. All dogs and cats must have a current rabies vaccination certificate, and a copy must be kept on file for our staff to view during all inspections. Your home and all equipment must be kept clean and sanitary as not to pose a health risk to the children you will be caring for. Anything that could be dangerous to children must be kept inaccessible. For example, sharp knives and scissors, razors, matches, tools, and lawn and garden equipment. Limiting access to hazardous equipment can prevent injuries to the children in your care. Poisonous substances must be kept out of the reach of children at all times. There are over 2 million human poison exposures reported to poison centers every year. Children under 6 years of age account for over half of those potential poisonings. The substances most commonly involved in poison exposures of children are cosmetics and personal care products, cleaning substances, and medications. So remember, anything that says keep out of reach of children must be kept out of the reach of the children in your care. We hope this information will make your initial inspection successful. Please remember that this presentation has not covered all of the regulations, so be sure to read them entirely. As a licensed provider, it will be your responsibility to understand and comply with all of the regulations. We look forward to meeting you. We hope that this section was helpful. If you still have further questions, you may refer to either the statutes and regulations or call our help desk to speak with a licensing specialist.